Welcome to Repair, Restore, and Resell. Today I'm working on this Mercury 7.5 horsepower long-shaft outboard motor. This is the one that I repaired the kill switch for it. I've had it up for sale for parts of repair because I really hadn't gotten around to it and nobody's bought it, so I guess I'm going to repair it and sell it for more money. So right now it'll start up with a squirt of two-stroke gas down the throat of the carburetor. So I'm going to take the carburetor apart and clean it. See if we can get it running on the thing. I've got the ultrasonic cleaner heating up, and while it's doing its bit in there, we'll pull the lower unit off of it and replace the water pump in it, since I know it runs. But this is all we can get out of it. It's just at the moment it won't run off the carburetor itself. But with a little shot of two-stroke gas down the throat of the carburetor, it'll fire right off. So this motor sat for a number of years. It's a classic, ran one parked. But the gentleman that I got this from, a friend of mine, he's in his 80s, and it just been sitting in the corner of his garage for years, and now he's sold the house and moved in with his daughter. So I bought the motor from him, and just to either have it for parts, because I've got the same motor and a short shaft, or to repair it and resell it, get it going and resell it. So that's where we're at with this. So let me get the carburetor off of this and get it taken apart, get it in the ultrasonic cleaner, and we'll pop the lower unit off of this, replace the water pump, and I've got a water pump kit for it, and we'll go from there. And we're also I can't do this out in the sun. Today's July 20th. It's 11 o'clock in the morning, and it's just brutal out in the sun. We're in the middle of a heat wave. So I'm over here in the shade. I mean, I think there's enough natural lighting. We're gonna move inside to drop the lower unit off of it, because it's a little cooler in the garage and the basement. But that's it. The lighting may be a little bit off, but it is what it is. Okay, so we'll get the carburetor off of here. There's one mounting nut here on the back flange of the carburetor, on the mounting flange. There's one over on the opposite side. There's the choke cable mounting clamp, and the fuel line, and then the carburetor should come right off of this. So we'll do this one around the back side here first. There's one of them. Put in a little magnetic tray here. Before I take that one out, I want to get this choke clamp off of here. And I want to get the fuel line off while the carburetor is still held firmly in place. So you remove the bolt from the choke clamp, swing around the choke, and bring the cable out of the choke lever. And then we'll cut the zip tie that holds the fuel line on, because I'm going to be putting a new fuel line on it anyway. If not, you could take and take this blue fuel line cap off and go about it that way. Let me grab a Stanley knife so I can slice that line, because it's tight and I don't want to break that fuel cap. Okay, so we'll just make a little slice up the fuel line here. Give it a little bit of flexibility. And then we can pull that right off of there. And I think all that's left is the one mounting bolt on the flange there. So if you flip the gear selector forward, it'll give you a little better access to this nut. Okay, so the nut's off, but it won't come off until the carburetor is pulled forward here a little bit. And I think before we pull the carburetor forward, we're going to need to remove the screen here, because I don't think that there's enough room between this bracket and the carburetor for it to come off the studs. In this particular one, everything is SAE or Imperial size fasteners, whichever way you want to refer to them. These take a 5/16 nut driver. The one on the side over here for the fuel cap screen is 1/4 inch. The choke cable clamp is 3/8, and the mounting nuts for the carburetor on the studs there are 7/16. So it's a little bit stuck on there. Let me grab a little pry bar, see if we can persuade that a little bit. There we go, it's broke loose there. And there's one more line in the back here, right below the right below that mounting. So that's that. It's all removed. Now we'll get it disassembled and get it into the ultrasonic cleaner. Yes, we'll take the float bowl off of it. There's quite a bit of crud in that. Let's see if we get the hinge pin out of it. Yeah, get a little punch to drive that out of there. Okay, so I've got a little 3/32 stair punch and a small little ball peen, and we'll see if we can get that hinge pin for the float driven out of there. And you want to go easy because you don't want to snap those ears off, or you'll be hunting on eBay for another carburetor body. And that's as long as that punch will go, because the thicker part of the punch is hitting back here. It doesn't want to. It's getting hung up on that gusset in the corner there. So let me see what else I can find that we can get the rest of the way through there with. Okay, so I've got a thin little drill bit to knock that pin the rest of the way through, hopefully. There's our float. And the needle. And then around this side here, we've got a jet. There's the jet. And it doesn't seem like that's clogged. And we'll take a 1/4 inch nut driver. I'll take that fuel cap off of there. And we'll take a little 90-degree pick and lift this gasket off of there. And get under the screen, get the screen out of there. More crud underneath the screen from this wonderful gas that we get. And take these screws out. I'll set that aside. That gasket, I'm just going to leave that gasket attached because I don't have another. And there's a jet. jet or an emulsion tube up in the center there. I'll be right back. I'm going to stick this carburetor in a vise so I can get that broken loose, hopefully. Okay, so I got that broke loose. Whenever these are tight, I like to mount the carburetor up in a bench vise. It holds it nice and stable, and allows you to put more weight on the screwdriver, so you have less chance of tearing out the screwdriver slot there. And that's looking like it's partially plugged up. And then we've got an adjustment screw over here. So that one's in half and one. It's like about 1.5 turns. So when we put this back together, that's where we're gonna put it back to. Yeah, it looks like it's in pretty good shape. And there's a little brass washer that goes on the end there. And a little O-ring seal that goes in the end there. So that's it. We'll get this in the parts washer, the ultrasonic cleaner, and let it do its thing. So all these small parts I'm going to put in the small parts thing so they don't wind up in the bottom of the ultrasonic cleaner. And that doesn't, I don't think that one's not going to fit in there. Okay, everything's out of the ultrasonic cleaner. Everything came out looking nice. So now we'll get this carburetor reassembled and back on the motor. There's one more jet that I took out after I got done filming, and that goes down this port here. And it's underneath of this screw or cap, whatever you want to call it. Really, it's more of a cap. And now we've got this one, this emulsion tube. And that comes up to the bottom of that Venturi that's in there. And we've got the main jet that comes in from the side here. And the needle goes down in here. And the pin, the hinge pin, the hinge pin, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that on the camera, but it's knurled at one end of it. And if you look in the ears, you're going to see the corresponding knurling over on the throttle side. then you need to take your punch and get that driven back in there a little bit so that the knurling can secure the hinge pin into the ears. And then you've got two fiber washers. One once it's there on the stem, then your bowl goes on. And then the other one goes on the other side of the bowl. And the bowl retainer bolt goes in. And the bowl gets sandwiched between the two fiber washers. And then over in this port here, you've got your sealing O-ring. And you've got the needle. The tension spring. And you've got a small brass washer that goes on there. And then this here, we're going to return that to the 1.5 turns out that it was when we took it apart. So we'll go until it's lightly seated. And then we'll go 1.5 turns. And now we've got the valve plate. And then our screen goes back in here. And the cork gasket. And the cover. Okay, and the only other thing is when I pull that hose off of here, there's a little piece of tube that came out with the hose, and I'm going to get that and put it back in there with some Loctite. Or maybe I'll just put it back in there because it doesn't seem to want to come out of the hose. Let me take a look at that. Okay, this hose is deteriorated, so I'm going to put a new piece of hose on it. Try to make a slice down it so I can get it off of there without damaging that little piece of tube. There's that. It's a little hose barb. So I'm going to put that back into the carburetor body with a little bit of Loctite, so it'll stay put. Okay, so I've got that hose barb mounted back into the carburetor body. I put a little blue Loctite on it. Keep it in there, and got a new little piece of hose for it. So that's it. We'll get the carburetor mounted back on the motor. Okay, so the carburetor's all remounted on there. Just the reverse procedure of removing it. So now we'll take it outside and see if it'll fire up. I haven't gotten the water pump done yet, so that'll be, I think maybe the water pump's going to be its own video. We'll see how it goes. Okay, so the carburetor is all set on it. I've got the fuel hooked up to it. The motor moved back outside, so we'll see if See how this thing starts. I don't want to run it too long because I don't have it in the water. And anybody, says that, you ruin the water pump doing this. I don't care, because the next thing I'm doing is putting a new water pump in it, so I'm really not concerned about damaging the water pump. So that's the next video. It's going inside now. I'm going to pull the lower unit, replace the water pump, and touch up any other little things that I find on it that need a little bit of attention. So thanks for watching. Please help the channel grow by hitting the like button, subscribing, leaving comments, share the video, and I hope you follow along on the next one with the water pump. And that's about it for now, so be well and have a great day.